Funerals in Ghana are such a cornerstone of the culture, right? It's a time when the whole community comes together to honor a life. But what happens when those timeless traditions meet the pressures of our modern world? Well, in this explainer, we're going to look at how Ghanaian families are finding new ways to handle this sacred responsibility, using technology to bridge that gap between the old and the new.
And really, this is the central question so many people are facing. How do you uphold these cherished, absolutely vital cultural practices when you're also juggling modern problems like rising costs, last-minute changes, and, family members living all over the globe?
Because let's be crystal clear, in Ghana, a funeral isn't just a private family thing. Not at all. It's a profound community event. There's this deep social and emotional responsibility to inform everyone, to honor the person who's passed properly, and to organize everything, often in a very, very short and incredibly emotional time frame.
Now, this community-wide responsibility, as beautiful as it is, can create immense pressure. So to really get why a shift is happening, we first have to look at the traditional way of planning things, a journey filled with hurdles that, honestly, many families know all too well.
Okay, so this probably looks familiar to a lot of you. Information gets gathered by hand, a designer creates the artwork, and then the proofs start flying back and forth as screenshots on WhatsApp. The family then has to commit to printing in bulk, only to discover a mistake or a last-minute change later. And that leads to that sixth and, let's be honest, most painful step, really costly reprints and delays.
So the crucial point here is that this old process creates very specific, very real problems. You've got errors and last-minute changes just causing chaos. You've got multiple conflicting versions of a funeral program floating around. You get so much waste from printing hundreds of copies that are now totally wrong. And this is a big one. Family members in the diaspora often feel completely left out of these key decisions.
But what if there was a better way? A way to manage all this with more control and a lot less stress. Well, this is where a digital-first approach comes into play. It's a new way of thinking that's all about having a single, reliable source of truth for everyone involved.
This approach often goes by the name web-to-print. Now, it sounds a little technical, but it's actually super simple. It's just a method where one central digital design becomes the master copy, the one and only source that's used for both sharing online with family and for on-demand physical printing when you're actually ready.
And this slide just perfectly shows the difference in mindset. The old print-first way, it commits you to a huge, risky print run way too early. The new digital-first way lets the family perfect one central design online, and then you print only what you need exactly when you need it. No waste, no rush, it's a game changer.
Now, this isn't about replacing tradition. Not at all. It's about supporting it. And that always starts with understanding the cultural importance of the printed materials themselves, like banners and posters.
What's really interesting here is the distinction between these two. A funeral banner, which is made of this durable PVC or vinyl, that's a long-term public tribute. It's big, it's made to last in the weather. A funeral poster, on the other hand, is usually on paper, and it serves as a more formal, short-term announcement. They both have different, but equally important jobs to do.
This quote from our source material just sums it up perfectly. Banners are a public, almost celebratory tribute. You see them on roadsides for weeks. Posters, they function as the direct, formal announcements that give all the essential funeral details to the community.
Okay, so how does a digital-first approach actually apply to these really important cultural items? What are the real-world advantages for a family going through this difficult time? Let's break down the clear benefits, from peace of mind to actual practical savings.
The advantages are pretty immediate. Stress goes way down because there are fewer last-minute errors to chase down. Costs are controlled because you only print what you actually need, so you avoid that waste. And diaspora inclusion is so much better because everyone, no matter where they are in the world, can see and approve the exact same visuals from that one central source.
And just to make this a bit more concrete, here are some sample unit costs you might see in a crop. A banner or a program could be around 50 to 70 Ghana cedis per unit, while posters or appreciation cards are a little lower. Just having these numbers helps families plan and really see where their budget is going.
Let's just focus on that higher cost item for a second. At 50 to 70 CDs each, printing hundreds of funeral programs or banners, well, that adds up incredibly fast. This is exactly where printing only what you absolutely need becomes such a powerful tool for managing costs.
So the key observation here is that banners and programs have the biggest hit on the budget, mainly because of the huge quantities people traditionally print. And we're already seeing families adapt. Lots of programs now include a QR code that just links to a full online PDF. That right there is web to print in action, balancing the physical things you need with digital convenience.
Ultimately, all of this points to a more controlled, more respectful way forward. It's really about giving families the right tools to manage a super complex process with more clarity and way less stress. And this right here is the main takeaway. Web to print allows families to balance print and digital use without losing cultural meaning. See, technology in this case isn't replacing tradition, it's serving it. It's making it more sustainable and more inclusive for today's families. Which leaves us with one final thought to consider. During one of the most difficult moments in life, can the right tools help free us from all the logistical headaches so we can focus more of our energy on what truly matters: remembrance, family, and community?